Hey guys, and welcome to an X-Plane 11 video live stream thing. So flying from London Heathrow to Helsinki today, although this one's going to be a little bit more complicated than what I normally do in terms of a live stream, because truth be told, this is pre-recorded. This is not live, it's pre-recorded, and I'll explain why in just a moment. So as you guys know, in the real world, I am flying to Helsinki. Right now, basically, literally right now, I'm on board this aeroplane, or at least not this aeroplane. That's another thing that gets a little bit complicated. But in the real world, flight departs at 20 to 7. So there you go, see the Zulu time. So yeah, 27, 6:40. Zulu time means that the plane will depart at 6:40, according to that clock down there. So the aim for this video is to try and time it up, so I match this flight with the real one as well. And yes, must be said that in the real world, I'm in an A320, not an A319. Basically, I only own the ToLiss, not the flight factor, and therefore I'm just going to use this just so I can have a decent aircraft. I mean, alternatively, I've got the Wilco 320 on FSX, but it's not going to do it. So so we'll start setting up the aircraft, and we've got ourselves ready to go. So first things first, we need to be on ground power. We open the ToLiss screen and make sure that everything is set for ground power, cold and dark. That's all fine. And I'll be flying with VBA as usual. There we go. External power sets. Make sure that's all sorted. So external power's on, battery on, fuel pumps on. IRS can now get aligned. And we'll now go down to the FMC, or the FMS even, the A320 aircraft. Brightness comes up for all the displays. Clear that. Ident in it, sorry, and let's quickly load the flight plan. So alternative co-routes, that's a bit of a awkward one set up, but it's Echo Golf Lima to Echo Foxtrot Hotel Kilo, Heathrow to Helsinki. Alternative route is what is the alternative for this flight? It is, research on my thing. We're going to Echo Victor Romeo Alpha. Echo Victor Romeo Alpha. Plug that in there. Although I do want to load the X-Plane flight plan, so it'll be that one. Ever up. Plug that in. Flight line IRS, and flight number today is Speedbirds Bravo Alpha Whiskey 978 Hotel, I believe it is. 798 Hotel. 798 Hotel. I am flying on VATSIM as per usual. Costing next, we're using 10 today. And cruising altitude is 350. Cool, so that's sorted. Now make sure the rest of the displays are sorted out as well. So brightness up, sticky on the flight plan. Co-pilot screens can now go bright. And captain's displays can also now go bright. And bear in mind that by the time I land at Helsinki, it will be 11:30 local time. I will need the night lighting as well set up while I'm there. In terms of tower, I believe there is a London Centre. Yes, there is. 113.7. Sorry, 133.7. And that's all there is for London. So I shall, excuse me, hide that. And make sure that everything is turned on as well. So radio on, radio on. Radio on the other head panel comes on. Back down to below. I need to turn on this. And I believe, in terms of actual stuff turning on, that should be fine. I can turn on the logo lights on the overhead panel. Otherwise, it's now set up the actual flight for departure. So it shall be flight plan. Actually, even before I do that, there we go. I need to go back to initialization. Go to next page and set up here. So ZFW and block fuel. So if I now load up the ToLiss screen, aircraft configuration, we load up a VBA, and it'll tell me how many passengers aboard this flight. So I'm carrying 111 passengers. And stay in center. Cargo's fine. Apply and load. Fuel, I need 94. What is it? 94. Go back to the right page. 9449. So as close to that as possible. 9460, that'll do. Quick refuel. Perfect. So ZFW is 29.5553. 29.5/55.3. Plug that in, and block fuel is, well, that's 96. Hang on, it's 9.4. It's 964. There we go. Flight plan departure. We are departing on 09 left on the Bravo Papa Kilo SID. Insert. Flight plan sorted. Now I need to go back to Perth and set up our departure. So I see a CS screen, whatever it's called, Interactive Simulator Control System, ISCS. And I need to now go to, where is it? Aircraft config. We'll be using flaps 1 for departure. 128, 150, 152. 128, 150, 152. Flaps 1/-1. And flex, I believe, was 68. I need to double check that though. Flex is 70. Fair enough. Plug you in. Cool. That is our takeoff sorted out. Transition 6000. Everything looks good. Yep, that is ready for departure. So we are 5 minutes away from the IRS aligning. So much I'll tune to tower and get read back 133.7. And actually, don't even know what my text to speak button is. Probably best if I check that. Set up mic. Ooh, that's a good point as well. So inputs will be USB PNP microphone. Outputs will have to be.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
There we go.
Get a word of that. It was very broken and muffled. If you want to ask my text, I will do my best to help.
Right, so push talk key is numpad dots. Can I set that to a caps lock? No, I can't. Okay, numpad dot it is. So if I now quickly tune to tower and have sorted out. Good evening tower, this is Speedbird 798 Hotel, rates coffee, IFR to Helsinki.
Easy 883 Alpha. Sorry to hear that, it's a bit unfortunate. Well, best of luck. And thanks for flying anyway.
Traffic.
Bye bye.
Traffic.
Ooh gosh.
Traffic. Traffic.
Let me turn that off quickly. Tower, did you copy Speedbird 798 Hotel?
Speedbird 798 Hotel. First of all, don't call me Tower. I'm a controller. It's the centre, London Centre. And yes, we do copy. Renew 5x5.
My apologies for that, Centre. So, are you taking IFR clearances, or are you just taking me after a departure today?
Speedbird 798 Hotel, don't control Heathrow. It's everything north of Birmingham. Upwards. So, monitor Unicom 122.8. Might speak to you later.
122.8 for Speedbird 798 Hotel. Thank you very much. Cool. So I'm not with him today. Whoops. Make sure I'm actually on 22.8. And yeah, he is centre, not a tower. So that is my own faults for that one. Cool, so IRS is now aligning 2 minutes. I mean, I can skip it in the ToLiss, but I'm not going to. Set that for departure. Heading is fine. Actually get my metadata. WXR Echo Golf Lima Lima. Is that the right command? I'm sure it's WX. No, sorry, it's just WX. WX Echo. Man, I can't type today. WX Echo Golf Lima Lima. That should be right. There we go. Cool. So clear visibility. Looks good. QNH 1014. 1014. Perfect. Other than that, things are looking good. Yeah, visibility over 10 nautical miles. No clouds. Cleared skies today. Looking good. So at this point, I'm now waiting for the final minutes for IRS to align. And then I believe we'll be ready for pushback and departure. We'll be in the air within 5 minutes. Let me turn on the 8PU. So 8P will now start up, and let's pre-plan our pushback. Actually, no need to, we'll just do that at the same time, since we are going to be using the better pushback add-on. And then, as the APU starts up, we should get a moment to enjoy our British Airways A319 before we do the parts. Again, this has been the ToLiss model, as opposed to the Flight Factor A320. And as I mentioned earlier, I will be flying an A320 in the real world. That's the only bit of inaccuracy you'll get in this live stream. Otherwise, the flight path itself should be correct, along with everything else. IRS has aligned. AP starting up. We'll be ready to go in no time. Make sure VBA is running as it should. That's fine. And when we do start pushback, we'll then get flight attendants talking as well. So that, as opposed to FS passengers, will now be part of the smart cars software itself. Right, APU should be active now. So there you go, available. Set the APU bleed. Standard power comes off. We are now on APU power. And, oops, she's actually been on ages ago, along with seatbelt signs turned on. Cool, so we shall now start our pushback. So if we now set our better pushback, starts.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
Roger that. It's going to be quite awkward, bear in mind we are right up against the wall here. So if I can get to about there, then you guys can work out the rest.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Cool, so once the tow truck arrives, there he is. We'll then start our pushback. We'll then go through takeoff config and everything ready to go. Likewise, apologies for the slightly low quality textures at Heathrow. Basically, I'm running X-Plane app, basically everything set to medium because the system cannot really handle it very well. I mean, X and Varo took about 5-10 FPS out of it, so I'm having to use default clouds right now, which is a bit of a shame, but they're not too bad. They're not too bad, said no one ever. Yeah, so pushback target is now connecting. Echo Golf, Lima Lima, traffic, pushing back at 311. Cool, so just announcing to people in the area that we are now pushing back from the gates. And then once that happens, now start up the engines. So you get set to the on position. And any second now I get told to turn off the parking brakes and pushback will commence. TCAS I will also turn on in just a moment once I do pushback. I mean, worst case scenario, I'll just start it in the air because bearing in mind we're at that sim at Heathrow, aircraft's just going to be all over the place. You can now see we're slightly being raised as well.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Now, this being an A320, I can do double engine startup, so I shall do, so we can enjoy pushback from the view of the passengers. And there we go, looking good. And there we go. Both engines have now started. And pushback is looking good so far. So if we pop back into the cockpit. And then once we get lowered, I can then start our takeoff config and get ourselves ready to depart. We shall be in the air very shortly, means 1740, that's our departure time, aka the moment we leave the gates, so we are actually spot on right now. I'm actually doing a bit better than I thought I would be. And there we go. Right.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Alright, so tail now disconnects, and I shall lower the flaps for takeoff, so it'll just be the one today. Alright, let's go through the takeoff checklist. So, auto braking set to max. Now, do be aware this is not my go-to aircraft, meaning I'm not actually 100% sure where everything is at the moment. Auto braking, I know where it is. I'm just being stupid right now. Gosh, why am I being so... Hang on, do the rest of it. So, takeoff config sets. Cabin check. Just press the forward one.
ToLiss disconnected. A bypass pin has been removed.
Spoilers armed.
We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
And auto braking, I know there's a little switch. Sorry, max braking is right there. There you go, max. Right, takeoff config complete. He will now move out the way. There's another British Airways over there. Oh, that's an Iberia apparently. IBE. Anyways, Echo Golf Lima traffic. Taxiing runway 09 left for departure. Cool. So parking brake released. Engines are on, so autopilot can come off. And everything else seems to be alright, at least based on what I know about the aircraft. Perfect. So, increase the throttle. Let's go down to runway 09. So, I am using XP Realistic Pro, which is why the aircraft is vibrating ever so slightly. Basically, XP Realistic Pro tries to replicate the real-life aircraft in terms of like head movements and all that. Not too bad, not perfect, but I do quite like it as an add-on. And also fairly cheap online as well. So I need to make a right turn. And then we'll be going through the gap in between terminals 3 and 4. From way to 09 left. Oh yes, and I must remember that this is an A319, an Airbus aircraft. The landing gear is behind me and not on top, underneath me. So it's not like my 737 where you can turn into each corner in the Airbus. You have to slightly overhang before you can make the turn. I must bear that in mind. Make a right turn here. Again, I've done it again. I need to overhang, not just turn into it. Otherwise, there are a fair few aircraft online right now. We did also speak to Tower just a moment ago. Centre, my apologies again. Just speak to Centre a moment ago. Albeit he's in the north of England, as opposed to actual London area. Just realised my lights haven't actually been set up properly. That's my fault there. Whoops. There we go. Right, now we are set for taxiing. Should have done those lights a moment ago, and not just now. Seems being a little bit laggy for some reason as well today. I'm not quite sure why. Probably because I'm on VATSIM and it's trying to load up all the AI aircraft, but it's not too bad, I guess. Otherwise, taxiing's going quite well. On finals 27 left. 27 left. That's fine. And there we go. Almost at the runway. Just at the end of this taxiway here. We can then make a right turn, which then goes onto the runway itself. Otherwise today, I'm going to have to say, it is a beautiful day for flying. I mean, just look at the weather. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, in the real world, Farnborough Airshow actually is this weekend as well. So, yes, I'm flying out on the Farnborough Airshow, which is why I'm hoping, in the real world, I'm flying on runway 27 left, as that way I'll then actually get a chance to actually see just a tiny bit of the airshow from the sky, which should be quite fun. Because how that airshow works in the real world is that rather than, like, move all the Heathrow departures out of the way, Heathrow stays the same. Hethrow's too busy to move. The actual airshow itself gets like enclosed into a tiny little area, which is just for the show itself, which is quite a fascinating way of doing it actually, because it just shows like how built up and busy this entire airplane space is. So, well, I'm guessing this is like changing the weather. Tiny bit of spike there. What's our taxi speed right now? 21 knots. Okay, that's not too bad. 21 knots. Right, so right turn coming up. Although just for that, we will hold short and announce that we are departing on runway 9 left. Might even see the M25 from here actually, if you are lucky enough. But we are taking off from London side. There we go. So we'll hot shot the runway, and then announce that we are departing. Departing runway 09 left, Echo Golf Lima Lima. That's just TCAS warning me of traffic. I'm not quite sure who's near me. Now we're coming to land, so we will ignore it. Landing lights turn on. In fact, I will turn that off temporarily. And then once I have departed, I shall turn that back on again. Right, so onto the runway. And then spool up the engines ready for departure. So, not airborne just yet, but we are getting very close to it now. And make sure she goes to the runway itself and not just the threshold of it. So, a tiny bit more taxiing to go. Hold the aircraft. Make sure everything is ready to go. One last final check. And then we are ready to go. Use the other taxiway actually to enter the runway, but hey, what can I do about it? No tower guidance, I just took whatever taxiway I know in the airports. Here we go. Right, let's hold the aircraft here. Spool up the engines. I must remember to push the nose down a tiny bit as well. There we go. V1. Rotate. Positive climb, gear up. Looking good. Autopilot set. I'm not quite sure what the cockpit lighting's doing right now. I'm guessing that's just down to the fact that my simulator graphics set down low. Flaps up. And there we have it. London Heathrow departure. That is autopilot disconnects. And there we go, that should be alright now. Perfect. So once you pass 6,000, I can then set it to standard altimeter. There you go, on the intercepts now, and therefore we now should be following the flight path itself. As for passengers, we now get a view of London thanks to Ortho for XP, which is again a very nice add-on. It's basically what I've used in FSX, the FS Earth stuff, but more for X-Plane. Well, yeah, basically X-Plane. And the overlay is GB Pro, since I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to creating scenery for this sort of stuff. There we have it. Now Heathrow Airport's departure. I think you just about to see Norfolk in the background as well. So 3 hours away from Helsinki. This should be a rather long but rather fun little video. One I'm definitely going to enjoy as well, and one I hope you guys enjoy watching, because I mean, like I said, I'm in this aircraft right now in the real world. That's come past 6,000. And therefore, I will now set the altimeter to standard. Co-pilots as well. Perfect. Sit back, relax, enjoy the flight, as the Airbus is now in control. Because as is known with this, the Airbus aircraft is generally a lot more automated than Boeing, and therefore with this, yeah, you're now sitting back and letting the aircraft do the rest. So, Finland, Helsinki. I mean, it's not actually my final destination, that country. I'll be taking the train in about 7 hours after the departure arrival. So I'll talk about that entire plan once we get past 10,000, which is when in the real world's pilots are then allowed to talk about anything they want. Landing lights off, you're free to communicate. But we are being cleared to 6,000 on the transition, according to the flight plan that we filed earlier. As the autopilot disconnecting on the takeoff, that I'm not 100% sure why that happened. I'm guessing it's just because of the fact that the aircraft wasn't exactly on the flight path, and therefore it just needs to let me take manual control for a moment. I mean, once I had the intercept sorted out, then the aircraft was fine, so nothing major. I mean, it happens to me all the time when I'm flying the ToLiss because I'm not used to this aircraft. I'm more of my 737 Boeing pilot. But as long as everything looks alright, probably is. I mean, all the lights are switched off. That's what matters in this aircraft. This can now go down actually, and the braking can turn off. In fact, that's automatically turned off. Nicely done. Ignition, whoops, that can actually come off as well. TCAS, I can now turn on again since I am quite safe in the air. And landing lights, I can turn off once I'm hitting 10,000. I believe we do stay at 6 for a little bit longer, until we get to the Bravo Papa Tango point, which is the end of the SID, and when we are cleared to carry on our climb to 350. So yeah, a little bit longer to go on the SID, otherwise I can now zoom out on the PFD. So, yes, earlier in the stream, I mentioned that this is pre-recorded. Yes, this is pre-recorded. I do apologise for those who are expecting an actual live stream today, but I can't. I'm in this aircraft right now. And if I'm going to be totally honest with you, this is recorded on the 14th of June, 2018. Quite literally 30 days, a month, before the actual flight itself, because I want enough time to actually make sure that this is all fine and ready to go. Although I'm using a tool called Restream Scheduler, which allows me to schedule this and push it as a live stream. So, yes, cheating here, I know. I'm a terrible person. Hate me what you want. Do what you need to. Otherwise, I was going to say, yeah. In fact, I mean, right now, yeah, whatever. Right, so make the right turn. We're now out of the SID. And shall continue to climb now. And like I said, once I'm past 10,000, I'll then be more than happy to talk about what I'm actually going to do in that country and places I'm going to go. Right, passing through 9,500. Oh yeah, Bravo Papa Kilo, BPK. Let's quickly turn off the landing lights. But I think you guys saw what I was looking at a moment ago. There's Stansted Airport. My go-to airport for Ryanair, because I literally fly from here all the time. Every year I fly from Stansted. But it's nice to see it's actually covered by the ortho scenery. Although I think you can just about see the edge of the ortho. Coming up just, yeah, it's not too far away now. And behind me, you've still got your classic UK scenery, I guess. In fact, let's go passenger view for the Stansted bit. I mean, weather's absolutely fantastic. I mean, I don't think I can actually find a better day for flying. It's fantastic, it really is. And, well, yeah, that's about that. And, well, now past 10,000, so, yeah. Trip to Finland. So, This aircraft lands at 11:30 local time, so in the UK it'll be 9:30 PM. So if you're in the UK watching this live stream now, it's a Saturday, you can watch the whole thing if you want. I mean, I can't react to your chats, but I can talk through it, basically. I mean, I've got 3 hours to fill on my own. It's going to be a lot of fun, this. So, land 11:30 local time, spend an hour through airport security, and then, yeah, leave Helsinki Vantaa Airport. Then, I'm going to catch a bus, and that'll take about an hour, arriving to the Helsinki Central Station, since basically the train doesn't run till about 3 AM, so either I stay at Vantaa for 3 hours or I take a bus to the city centre. We'll see how I feel at the time, because at this point I've woken up probably at 9 o'clock and I'm not getting any sleep for a good 48 hours because it's just going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. So yeah, I wake up, I leave the airport, I go to the city centre, because if you're in Helsinki and you have nothing to do, you're going to have to go to the, what type of church was it again? No, it's not Pentecostal church. There's the big church in Helsinki where they filmed the first scene of everyone's favourite music video, Darude Sandstorm. I'm sure everybody remembers that song. So, yeah, definitely have to go there. And actually, if you guys have any recommendations what to do in Helsinki at 3 in the morning, please let me know. Please do let me know, because I have no idea. So, yeah, arrive. Things looking good. And then I will be going to the train station. I'll be going to Tikarila train station. I'll probably botch that pronunciation. Hang on, Helsinki, Tikarila. Yeah, Tikarila. And I'll be taking the VR train, the Finnish intercity, to a town called Lappeenranta. And there, I'll then be meeting up with a couple of friends whom I've not seen basically ever. It's been that long. But yeah, one of them I've done live streams with in the past, Yusha. I'm sure you guys remember him from the World of War Tanks, World of Ships, and War Thunder stuff. And then I'm also going to meet another friend as well, a very close friend of mine, who's also the creator of the Suskitsu-chan comics online. So if you do like a Google search for tapas.io/Suskitsu, SUSKIITSU, you'll then see some of the webcomics online. So yeah, go meet up with her as well. And yeah, both should be a lot of fun. And while I'm there, because I'm from London, as you guys know, so not much I can do really. I'm in the city, but when I'm out in the countryside, I mean, they got plenty of stuff planned for me. I mean, starting off will be first we'll be looking around town as well, the actual harbour itself, because Lappeenranta harbour, it's a beautiful, beautiful harbour, let me tell you. So yeah, we're going down to that. We've also got horse riding planned, amongst other things. So I've never ridden a horse in my life. I'm actually quite excited about that. And roast a reindeer as well. I mean, it's not a meat I've ever tried. It's one of those where, gosh, the opportunity to try it's different. I don't think you actually really get reindeer in the UK. It's a meat that's really not eaten here that much. So that should be a lot of fun to try. Because I've heard it's good. I've heard reindeer is quite nice meat to have. Very tender, very tasty. So that'll be a bit of fun. And then we'll see what else we've got planned out. Gosh, oh yes, and I'm being forced into a Finnish sauna as well. So that should be should be fun. Gosh, those things are torrential. Never been in a sauna before, so to start off in a Finnish one, yeah, it's going to be fun. Plenty of fun. See if there's anyone online quickly, if I may need to connect them soon. Squawkbox. Yeah, Squawkbox. Show who's online. Move the thing down below chat box. Cool, so people online are well, Golf Papa and Golf Kilo seem quite full right now. Kilo is going to be Gatwick. Papa, I'm not sure which airport Golf Papa is. We've got Echo Golf. So it's London City's got no, it doesn't. Sorry, London Centre's still on. Yeah, either way, I don't have any tower I need to connect to anytime soon, so that shan't matter to me. we are at 230, which is where we're then being held until the next waypoint. Once we have the Charlie Lima November points, so actually same place I normally fly out of when I'm heading towards Europe from Stansted Airports. Charlie Lima November, it's a nice bit of throwback, I guess, to that. Although once I'm over the Netherlands, I'll then be heading north as opposed to south into Poland or Germany. And then yeah, leaving the UK, we'll be flying over Sweden and then into Finland. And as we fly, the sun's going to set, but you'll always have lights because we'll be so close to the northern hemisphere. Well, yeah, we're in northern hemisphere, but we're so close to the north of the Earth, we will still see the light itself. I'm now going to turn off the seatbelt sign, since we are plenty of altitude into the flight. There's a few clouds above us, but still very clear amongst everything else. And ground visibility's actually gone down a little bit, so I'm guessing weather's changed ever so slightly. Oh no, there we go, weather's changing now. But yeah, it looks like for a moment there the weather did change, possibly for the worse, ever so slightly. Nothing major, but nothing minimal either. Just have to see what happens when the scenery, sorry, the weather loads in again. Because X-Plane, as we all know, the weather engine isn't the best. It really isn't the best. I think FSX still has the best, does the better default weather. It's 50-50 because default FSX, the live weather, when it changed it, at least it didn't jump in a gap of a minute in between. X-Plane's isn't great in terms of that because the weather like disappears for a couple of minutes and just pops back in at random. Big aircraft with autopilot, sometimes it causes it's enough for it to disconnect. But something like Active Sky, very much great on FSX and P3D. And at the Flight Sim show last month, yeah, Active Sky was announced for X-Plane, which is very interesting. So we are now starting our northern parts of the flight. I believe we do just touch the Netherlands, but not much of it. Not at all much. And then we next land that we fly over shall be the south part of Sweden. Otherwise, yeah, this is really the calm part of the flight. I mean, we're mid-cruise now. Boat down below. We're not cruise yet, but we're getting close to it. But the scenery's behind us now. The UK is now behind and away. Well, it's not looking too bad, I have to say. Let's double check the things here. ETA is still not exactly there yet. ETA will though be in Zulu, not GMT, so you must take that into account. This is UTC, not UTC +1. And then the top bar starting to crawl across the screen as well. 420 knots cruise, of course. Right, so as we now pass the point Pixam, where is Pixam? There we go. Ratlow, Pixam, and then Somva. Of course, yeah, climb will continue as we reach the the Somva point, which is not too far away from here. There you can see with the blue arrow tells us they're going to carry on climbing. In fact, where's that button which tells you more information on the display? That's something that I'm going to look for. Otherwise, that can now be set to not flight controls, not wheel, or engine. There you go, that can set to engine now. And I'm trying to find the button because again, I'm not totally used to this aeroplane yet. I'm probably just going to miss out on it because I don't actually know what I'm doing. Terrain radar, not required for this flight since we're not flying anywhere with actual terrain around it. Helsinki, it actually depends what runway you land at Helsinki. There is one, I don't remember which one it is, does have a hill at the end of the runway, which is also quite a popular plane spotting spot. Oh yeah, I'm just being blind, I can't find it. It's not too important, I guess, don't really need it too much, but it would be quite nice to have. There we go, that's it. And then waypoint, yeah, of course. That's the information I need, which then tells you the altitude as well on the FMD, so the PFD. So you see 23,000, 23,000. Next one will be 27,500. Was that it? Or was it just 27,000? 277. So nothing really to have any issue about. Flight's going fairly well. We've now left the UK, that's totally behind us, and onwards to Suomi. Again, a country I've always been fascinated by, especially for those who've watched my normal videos in the past. I talk about Finland basically all the time, I'm obsessed by that place. But yeah, finally flying there in the real world, and flying there in stream at the same time. Because like I said, the aim of this video is to be where I am, right exactly where I am. The only things that may be wrong is the gate I'm departing from, the runway I departed from, but everything else should be spot on in terms of like flight path and the actual thing. Oh yeah, and the aircraft is wrong as well, but everything else should be spot on. There you go, weather's now going to try and do something. Weather may also be slightly different, actually must say as well, but I don't think it'll be too bad and too much difference between now and the actual flights. Because again, I'm flying about a month. Well, I'm flying exactly a month for the real thing. So the flights today, as you're watching stream, is the 14th of July. This video is recorded on the 14th of June. So 1 month, 30 days out of date. I do apologise, but it's the easiest way I'm going to do it. Now I've got to try and think of a filler for the rest of this flights. Hopefully it's not going to be too difficult. Then we might quickly check Vantaa quickly, because I want to make sure that this flight's actually being done properly. Because there's no one losing out on these flight hours to Helsinki. No way. I'll assume that. No. Which one's mine? Is that one mine? No, it's 2726. Where am I right now? Let's just do the search for BAW 0978. I'm gonna check Vantaa on my desktop then, if it's gonna be that much of a pain. Hopefully this shouldn't like lag out or anything. I mean, you guys can still see the sim move. That's the benefit of using X-Plane, is that it doesn't have any issues in the background. I actually let my frames quickly for a second. As long as I'm over 17. Yeah, I'm in my solid 30s, I'm not complaining at all. That's perfect. We ain't lagging out, and we won't have to suffer the issue of X-Plane slowing down when you do get too low in FPS. So, if I now quickly find my aeroplane on Vantaa. Gosh, 483 pilots right now. There's a lone aeroplane there, just off the east of Ipswich. And of course, that is me, pilot, my name, operator British Aiways, aircraft A319, altitude 23,000, speed 419, flights from London to Helsinki. Gosh, such a late flight. Estimated time 1:25. Gosh, hang on, 1940. Yeah, I've timed it right. I'm not going to have any issue with that. And then, yeah, that'll be that sorted for the rest of the flights. Heathrow is still very busy. And we'll see if we get any more, like, towers or anything to connect to later on. So, we've now reached the waypoint Somva. And then by Mavas, we'll be at 33,000. So, another climbing this. Actually, a bit of a strong climb, actually. Although I'm sure the Airbus is more than capable of doing it. Again, I'm a Boeing pilot. I'm still very much a Boeing person at heart. But I'm flying this because I'm flying in the real world. And I guess it's now a good time to actually get the ToLiss and get a bit of experience in that. Because the last time I flew this thing... well, first of all, it was during the beta tester thing stuff. And therefore my brother, as you guys know, Matt Designs, is on the beta testing team. He got the, like... early access stuff, and then he just let me try and advertise it for him. So that was a little while ago. And then today, yeah, like I said, flying in the real world, try and match up in the sim. So, yeah, we'll be reaching cruise shortly. Let's actually do climb performance aircraft right now. What are we climbing at? 1,700 feet per minute. That's enough to get, yeah, 33. And then by the waypoint after that, so it's Mavas, then OKOKO. Wow, OKOKO. We'll then be at flight level 350 for the rest of the flights. And then we'll need to touch that until landing. I mean, yeah, literally, as I said, everything at this point is now automated. Here's the cabin. I do like the sounds of this aircraft, I'm not going to lie. The sounds of the ToLiss is a very nice done aircraft. In fact, let's go to the other view. There we go, that's the other exterior view. Of course, the weather's now changing, so we're going to have to let it jump for a moment there. But everything else is, yeah, pretty fine. Pretty fine at all. Pretty fine indeed, even, is probably the better word for that. And yeah, soon we'll get the ETA sorted. So, yeah, actually, things to talk about as well. So, like I said, I've talked about the trip to Finland itself. I'll talk about it maybe again a bit later on in the stream, just for people who may have missed it. But for the most part, yeah, things stuff as well. So, work's been busy, very busy actually. Not gonna lie. Which is why I'm taking the week off, because it's just been not terrible. I mean, I enjoy where I work. I enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie. It's a fun place. The people there are really nice. I get along with everyone. So, yeah, it's a very, very, hard-working place. I'm not going to say exactly, like, where it is, just in case. But, it's nothing, like, bad or anything. It's an app company I work for. I'm a social media manager at that. But, everything else, it's fairly simple. Working there's great. I've got no issue with it. And so, I've got a week off to Finland. Well, I'm then gonna relax a little bit, just actually enjoy myself. One thing I do need to do, right? So I'm gonna freeze for a fraction of a second. I do apologise for that. There you go, back to normal. Alright, passing through 28,700 about now. Actually, through 28,000. Yeah, passing through 29,000. Okay, so, yeah, I think something's a little bit off then. Doesn't matter, we'll carry on. Because basically, the Fly Live setup, I think, is more tuned for FSX than X-Plane 11. Still works through the XUIPC tool, but it's very similar in that aspect, actually. FPS still a solid 30. Things are still looking quite good. So 18:16 Zulu time is right now, so it's 17:16 in the real world and GMT right now. Because again, you have to remember that this is Zulu time and not well, it's British summer time right now, BST. So you need to take that into account. Alright, 30,000. Top of climb is where that blue arrow is. And then, yeah, we'll know we're at top of cruise when we are passing through OKOKO. Ok. And you actually see the top of the Netherlands right there as well, the very northern part of that. So we don't fly over it for too long. There's a little bit of land we do have to cross over. And so actually, so I've talked about my trip to Finland, the actual flight itself. So this is my, actually this will be my first time in an A320. I'm trying to think. Flew EasyJet a couple of years ago to Berlin. I'm trying to think which aircraft that was. I'm not sure if that was a 19 or 20. I actually don't remember. I think it was actually 20 as well. So this will actually be my, I flew EasyJet a couple of times in the past as well. So I'm not sure how many times I've been in an A320. But it's my first time in about, gosh, what, we went to Berlin in 2000 and, it's during GCSE year. So it would have been, double check my photos actually quickly, got a few photos in the album for that. So I was in Berlin in 2014? No, I lie. Yeah, February 2014. So it's my first time in an Airbus in about 4 years. Just over 4 years. And this is my first time in British Airways. Because in the past, I've only flown... Actually, I think I believe like... I've flown British Airways like once, twice in the past to Poland. I think it was to Warsaw. But I don't actually have any recollection of that flight because it was so many years ago now. And they've been like 4 or 5 years old. So long ago. So, yeah, my first time in memory on British Airways. Yeah, first time again in memory out of the Heathrow airport. I mean, again, I've been to Heathrow in the past. Again, though, same time, no memory of it that long ago. So, yeah, it'll be quite an interesting trip through Terminal 3. Which, okay, fair enough, that means there's going to be a bit of a long walk there. Because I'm having to take the train down to the station. Because my family are all at the Farnborough Air Show. So I'm taking the Piccadilly line train down to Heathrow's Terminals 2 and 3. And then I have to walk the 1 mile to the entrance to Terminal 3. And then walk about a mile through the airport as well to the gates. I think 3 is the next one to be renovated once Terminal 1 has been merged into 2. Because basically Heathrow Terminal 1 was very little used. I mean, it had a max like 29 aircrafts. In like a month before it closed down kind of thing. It's a very little used terminal. There weren't any shops in GT or anything because it's just that useless kind of thing. So yeah, they closed the terminal, sold off all the things in a charity auction, and then yeah, knocked it down and just building expansion to Terminal 2. So that's taking place right now. And then eventually, because the UK Parliament at this time is now talking about the expansion of Heathrow's third runway. So that's very much in the talks right now. And then the new Terminal 1 shall be built in the just north of Terminals 4 and 3. So it'll be a whole new terminal, and then that will become Terminal 1. That way it just saves the renumbering the entire thing. I mean, it's a bit of a complicated setup right now, so it'll probably be better with a diagram if you do Google it. But where the village of Sipson is right now, they're going to knock that down and then build the Terminal 1 on top of it. So similar how the Heathrow Airport actually originally started from the small village of Heathrow back in the 1920s. Yeah, they basically bought the land, knocked all the buildings down, and then built an airport on top of it. And from then it's now become the UK's #1 airport. And now in the middle of just surrounded by a city, I guess. And so expanding it's becoming more difficult year by year. Alright, so we are now at cruising altitude 350. There is a slight bit of turbulence from the camera shaking, but for the most part it's not too bad. It's still fairly decent. I mean, if I do a quick, do I actually have to put in an airport's name? Can I just type in WX? Yes, I do need to have the airport. So if I go for WX, what's Echo? It's not, no, it's not at all. Amsterdam Schiphol. What is the ICO code for that again? I need to remember. Schiphol Airport's ICO code. It is Echo. Yes. WX. No, it's EHAM. Because I remember for my 797 there, that one time, my first ever flight on that sim, the KLM 797, where I terribly body slammed the aircraft into the runway. Cool, so winds 1614, 909 visibility. Yeah, okay, it's not too bad then. Wind is fine. And in fact, actually, to talk about that, the aircraft basically stopped shaking as well because turbulence is now cleared. Wings still have a bit of vibration to it, but it's not too bad now. Not a bad interior, not terrible. Seen better in some aircraft, but for what it is, you can't really complain, can you? It's a very nice aircraft, the ToLiss A319. And so, while in terms of its realism, is probably just below the 5-factor A320, there are things that this aircraft does do better. Although shame there's no iPad system I can be used to browse the internet during the stream. That would have been a nice little gimmick, but nah, not in this aircraft. So, as we now leave the Netherlands, because as you saw from the exterior views, we're not flying over that much of it. Our next bit of land we shall be seeing is a little bit of Denmark. Before we fly over Sweden, and again that's a little couple of hours away. In fact, I mean now the cruise, you guys have the ETA now of 2008 Zulu, so actually that's a bit of an earlier. Is that early? I'm trying to think. I land at 11:30. Sorry, yeah, 11:30 arrival. 10:09 8:30. Yeah, so I'll be about 20 minutes early. Although I can't always trust that clock, since sometimes it can be a little bit inaccurate. So I shall be checking that during the flight a few times. And yeah, things aren't too bad. In fact, so I have a quick look at the VBA map, since again I'm flying with this virtual airline. Yeah, things aren't looking too bad. I'm quite happy with it. So cruising at 35,000, speed 454 knots, and we're pitching at 2 degrees. So actually it's not too bad, yes. Speed 460. Now we'll change ever so slightly depending on the turbulence and the wind speed as well. Actually good point. Where is the wind heading? Would be quite good to know. Yeah, we got a proper tailwind actually. So actually getting pushed along the way. My return flights will probably be gosh, at least like half an hour, maybe an hour longer, because the winds will be totally opposite to what I need in the flights. But that again we'll sort out later. Yep, I'm happy with that. Let's go co-pilot seat for a bit, because why not? No one's stopping us. Yeah, I think it's a view that we're all more used to when I did the ToLiss streams, because basically in my brother's setup, when we did the pre-release streams, because of how his yoke is all and his throttle and all that, basically set to the co-pilot's side. So in his case, it's just easier to fly from this side. Although now that I'm in charge, we can now sit from the main seat. and this is using the default ToLiss aircraft and not any of the fancy like immersion packs and all that. I know they do exist. I decided to just stick with the nice, clean, pure original aircrafts. The actual external livery, though, being like the only part of the plane that is actually modded. Because if we go to this third-person cam, yeah, so the exterior is modded. Everything else, though, default. Good old black smoke contrails that X-Plane is known for. That will be changed, though. We do now know that will be changed for the proper like particle effects once the Vulcan update comes in, and that'll be in early 2019. So a little bit of a wait. It's another 6 months to go. But once it does get added, then things will be a lot smoother. Things will run a lot better. And around that time, I think I'll now start diverting a lot more attention to X-Plane as opposed to FSX. I mean, I still got to do the FS Passengers videos. But other than that, yeah, FSX are really starting to like fall behind. I mean, you have like X-Plane videos done recently, a lot more of them, definitely a lot more of them. So things will carry on. A bit of turbulence. I actually will turn on the seatbelt sign for that. So it's a bit of a sharp turbulence. That's a lot heavier than it should be. Well, I'm sure that will clear up there as we fly through it. So, yeah, I'm trying to think, what time does the sun set? Is a good question. Sun will set about 21:12 London time. So 2012. So sun doesn't actually set for another 2 hours or so. But then I'm flying north, so things will be a little bit different as well in that. So, yeah, there will be a few changes here and there. Yeah, still a bit of a shaky flight. Although I do expect things to calm down once I'm flying over land again as opposed to over the water, and then I think we'll turn the seatbelt sign off again. If I quickly go into the waypoints. So maximum to Nerdu, then to DHE, Batob, Dosa, Tausa, Amtots, Evbas, Dkik, Alarmi, OK Evu, Evadi, Rumep, which will be also our descent, Nipib, and then the actual waypoint there, coordinates, Divam, Pexen, and then Helsinki 804, Helsinki 891, Lovex, Helsinki 906, Bimvu, and then there's the airports. And then it'll be interesting to see what stars we're gonna have for arrival, and that's just our alternative. And then yeah, back into Max Nerdu. I mean, actually, I'll look at the ToLiss thing in a bit more. I mean, yeah, I could skip waypoints if I really wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. No points in that. Position, let's also save that. Yeah, fuel and weight, don't need to touch that. There's no ground power in that anymore. Doors still automatic, along with well, I've still got built-in pushback as well, but I don't think anyone's ever used it. It works, but no one's ever used it. Reserve page for something we'll see in the future. We'll never know. Fault scenarios. The actual sound and setting itself. Enable joystick and all that. Otherwise, yeah, it's fairly advanced aircraft. The ToLiss. I do quite like it. Better than jar design, I think, because I know people saying that there's a bit of an argument in the X-Plane community. Flight factor or ToLiss? Which one do you go for? Because both aircraft do have their strong points. If you want fly-by-wire, then I personally would recommend the this one, the ToLiss, only because I know the guy behind. Well, I don't know the guy behind ToLiss because he's quite a private guy, but I know the basics around it, and yeah, I'm going to say he's fairly capable of making a very good fly-by-wire system. And I think he actually used to work on the QPAC system as well many years ago, back in like X-Plane 9. If you don't know QPAC, that was basically like the most realistic fly-by-wire system ever made for X-Plane ever, the QPAC A320. So yeah, the same guy behind that made the 19. They're meant to make a 20, but then Flight Factor announced theirs and so like, can we make a 19 instead? Chop chop, cut off the bit of the cab, the actual like body of the aircraft, the fuselage. And there you go, you have a 19. But yeah, there's a lot of similarities between the Flight Factor and the ToLiss, more than you think. I'm not sure how much I might actually talk about, so I'm not going to say any more. But there are a fair few similarities between both aircraft. Alright, turbulence has died down, so it's now safe to turn off seatbelt sign again. As we continue our cruise. Then landing should be the next fun part of the flight, because an issue with me is that I keep trying to catch the aircraft when it's on the flare law. Because as you know, the Airbus aircraft have the flare logic, and so whenever I try to land, for some reason I try to like catch it too early, which leads to us like bobbing in the landing. So yeah, I just need to focus and not do it. So we've been flying for 47 minutes and 30 seconds. Time until arrival, supposedly 1 hour and a half. So apparently, yeah, not as long as I thought it would be. It's a return flight though that I do need to be careful about when it comes to how long that'll be, because the winds are going to be totally opposite of what I'm actually going to be needing. And then the actual like landing, descent and landing at Helsinki shouldn't also be too bad. Now that I'm getting used to the actual setup of the aircraft. I mean, initially, I could not do anything right in the A319. I mean, yeah, all my setup was horrible, I was doing everything wrong, and I could barely do anything, like, flight was impossible. I was not very good at all. But, enough flying, enough, like, focusing on it, like, solely. I've spent, like, a week doing nothing but just flying the ToLiss, to the point that I'm now not confident, but I think I'm fairly capable of at least flying it. Again, I'll never be perfect at it, but I never am really. Not even the 737 actually. I'm not great in. I'm good in 737. I know my way around that, but I'm still not perfect at that either. Still a few things that I need to work on and improve. Minor turbulence, but nothing too much to see what's on just yet. think we'll be fine with that for now. Let's go sit in the passenger view for a bit. Do we sit like that, or do we sit like that? Yeah, I've heard that the interior, like seating and all that, is being slightly tweaked in like a next version of the ToLiss. Not by much, but just a bit to make it a little more viable. Okay, so looking at the flight plan actually on VATSIM, we actually will touch the bit of northern Germany as well. Not much of it again, but we do like what towns we fly? We just miss Husum. We do fly over Flensburg in northern Germany, right on the border of Denmark. Gosh, and I keep like confusing myself with this aircraft where that gap in the flaps, I keep thinking it means that the flaps are down by 1 notch. They're not, that's just how the aircraft is designed. There's a reason for them being like that, I've forgotten the reason, but when I'm flying the 737, since that gap isn't there, I keep thinking to myself, oh no, have I not set the flaps properly? But in reality I have done. Again, at this time, flight config's perfect, there's nothing out of place, nothing set incorrectly, at least I don't think there is. I mean, all the lights are off, everything's turned on as they should be, and we are set to Unicom right now, 1228, so yeah, nothing's out of place, all looks fine to me. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 things that I'm probably like doing wrong, you guys can tell me in the live stream chats. Right, so the nearest aircraft to me is is there another as the right Speedbird 2726 is the nearest plane to me. He's somewhere over there, couple hundred nautical miles to my right, to my 1 o'clock, and he took off at Gatwick, and he's flying to Helsinki as well. In fact, let me, since it's a bit quiet on that, let me see if I can get to him. Bort 2726. I see you're also off to Helsinki. Smiley face. See how many people have a go at me for communicating on Unicom. I'll see if this guy even responds or not. Would be nice to, but you never know. Rico Ravel. He's flying 77 Whiskey. Seriously? From Gatwick to Helsinki? Not sure about that though. Not gonna lie. That seems a little odd. So I'm just in my 319 doing the same routes. I mean, in the real world, 319 does do Helsinki to Heathrow. That is a real aircraft does, but only in like the times where it's not really a popular route. I mean, in the summer, it's popular. In the winter, it's popular. Spring, autumn time, not so much. They put smaller aircraft on it instead. But yeah, by the time, like I said, I'm flying in summer right now, flying the real world. Yes. Yes, I am. Coolio. I think you're the only traffic near me. Who is landing there at a similar time? Cool. Is he on a VBA? Answer is no, he's not. Maybe he's a BAV? I'm not sure. Oh boy, he's not on a smart cars at least. Yeah, he will be somewhere, just not sure where exactly. Yeah, there was traffic on the map for a second there. It's my 10, 11 o'clock. Although he seems to have disappeared for now. I will keep an eye out for him. Just in case he does come into view again. Scandinavian, landing at November Charlie November. Yeah, I've got a feeling I won't be able to see the guy anytime soon. I can just carry on focusing on the actual flights. Yeah, see what's going on the ground right now. Ooh, with a weird camera. A bit foggy as well. Now I don't even know where I am. Oh, I'm on an aircraft carrier now. With a helicopter, of course, whatever. Let's go back to the actual aircraft. That's what matters right now. Yeah, sounds aren't great in X-Plane. That's something that hopefully they will fix. Hopefully the Vulcan stuff as well, actually. Or at the same time, we'll see. Yeah, so a few aircraft on Schiphol right now, frequency. Also a few aircraft landing at Schiphol, which we're going to listen into for a couple more moments until we do come into land later. So we are now over Germany. And we'll soon be over, my apologies, we'll be over Denmark in a couple of minutes as well. I must also remember that when I do land in Helsinki, I mean, of course we're going to have to do the flight landing replay. But I do also want to wait a couple of minutes on the ground just so I can actually get the flight on that sim counted, because for some reason I accidentally to measure that. Yeah, as I was saying, yeah, when I do land, because for some reason the VAT sim now updates information only every 10 minutes. Used to be every minute, Then it was every 5 minutes, and now it's every 10 minutes, so it's very slow, unfortunately. Something that we do need to live with now. So every hour, sorry, every 10 minutes on the dot, so I get 2200 right now in the UK. I mean, that will now update on the thing. Have a look at the flight clock. 18:49:37. So we've been in the air now for an hour. An hour ago we departed, just over that. So, making good time. ETA is now set to 2010, so I think that's stabilised a bit more as well. We are about halfway actually, looking at the red bar on the top of the screen. We are halfway through the flights. We are making good time, I can't complain. Turbine signs pick up again. Not too bad to turn on the seatbelt sign just yet, but I will need to anticipate if I do need to. Yeah, the airspeed, the aircraft has slowed down a bit. We still have the throttle, so we are cruising not the highest speed in the world. I mean, like I said, we did set our GPS program. That's fine. Clear the messages. Yeah, so I've go to Perth, cost the next 10, so we're flying efficient. We are flying efficient. Next point will be ToLiss. Only about 13 nautical miles away, actually. Sorry, 14, yeah, not 14 nautical miles away now. And that shan't take too long to get there. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how this thing's recording, but not too bad. As long as it's live, I guess, with you guys right now, it's fine. 25 FPS, so fairly standard for a live stream. Yeah, things should be alright. Speed, 461 knots still. Heading 047. Altitude, 35,000, flight level 350, although you guys will be seeing that slightly different, because of the fact that standard is not exactly actual altitude. That differs basically wherever in the world you are. Yeah, call sign, Speedbird 798 Hotel. The return flight is 794, I believe. I need to double check that flight number. But for the most part, yeah, it's fairly accurate to what I'd be doing in the real world right now. Like I said, the only thing that's different is the aircraft. That'll be a 320 instead of 319. The weather will probably be slightly different as well. And yeah, the flight path will maybe have like one waypoint different, but for the most part that'll be the same as well. Oh yeah, and of course the gates will be slightly off, and the runways also may not be the same, but they might be as well. They might be. Only time will tell, and that'll be on the actual flight itself. Alright, turbulence has picked up a slight bit. I will turn on the seatbelt sign as a caution. Well, I'm sure I'll be turning that off in a couple of minutes anyway. There you go, straight away turbulence goes down. Again, I will keep it on just as a cautionary measure. There you go, so the sun is now slightly lower on the horizon. Now we'll start to lower during the flights, but while the sun will set, we will still see the lights on the horizon. The other side as well, get some of the sunset lights, but I think yeah, it's very relaxing. That's one thing that I'll definitely say. Whoops, right now this flight is very relaxing in terms of how it's all looking. I mean, the lighting as it hits the aircraft is great. I mean, again, I'm still set on the medium settings. In fact, if I actually show my flight sim settings, there you go, that's my setup right now. Visual medium, textures medium, world objects medium, reflection minimal, anti-aliasing times 1. So I'm using the NVIDIA graphics card itself to anti-alias, but everything is basically medium right now. And so while I'm missing out on some of like the bump mapping and all that, for the most part it's not looking too terrible. It's there, you can see what we're looking at. It's not bad, it's not great, but it's not bad. I'm not going to complain about it or anything. Yeah, it's enough to keep you going, I have to say. What's going on in chat? Some aircraft wanting tower to come on for Frankfurt. Looks like someone may actually join Frankfurt in a couple of moments. Lucky them. I mean, Helsinki's not going to have any... I don't think he'll have any tower when I come into land. I mean, there's that 777 ahead of us. We may get tower, although that's not yet to be determined. We'll see how it goes when we do arrive. We won't get tensor, we won't get any like thing fancy. We may just get like one guy who logs in just to deal with us and then leave straight after. Which would be nice. I'm not going to complain by that, but we'll see how it goes. Man, cloud cover's definitely picking up. I'm actually going to do a quick weather check for Helsinki. WXEFHK. Visibility is... no signal. Okay, it's too far away to actually get any information from Helsinki. Other than that, it's 1012 QNH. And that's about it. As for active runway as well, I also need to double check that later on. just like that, the ever so slight swaying of the aircraft in the wind when you're standing up in the aisle. I've just been watching that for a couple of seconds, just thinking to myself, how calming, how relaxing. But for the flight attendant, you got to walk through this and serve food and drinks at the same time. So good luck to them. But actually, if I do move, because the camera I think is fairly level, not perfect, but yeah, if we just walk through the aisle itself. Let's go to the tea and drinking making facilities at the front of the aeroplane. Actually, see what facilities this aircraft has, of course. Because again, just seeing the ToLiss, it's not terrible. I'm not going to complain about it, but at the end of the day, things to save like frames. So, for example, the tea making facilities are fake, which does unfortunately mean, yes, attention passengers. I know we're flying British Aiways, and all of you here are British. Minus 1 or 2 Finns on board, so welcome aboard. But unfortunately, we do not have any tea making facilities on the aeroplane. So please do not protest, please do not riot. But yes, no tea, no party. Have fun, passengers, have fun. You got this screen over here, which is like what controls like the exits and all that stuff. It doesn't work. Although actually, I've heard that they looked into it. I know my brother still wants it to work. He's put texture on it or something. But yeah, that proved like really difficult to do in the long run. We've got 2 jump seats for the flight attendants. Got your food trolleys here, tucked away. Food cabinets. Got fire extinguisher in there and like a jackets cabinet in the bottom. I believe it's like a little table or something, just something to put your stuff on during the flight. And of course, got your exit. And to the and you got your toilet in the front as well. So one actual toilet modelled. We do have a toilet in the aeroplane, and then yeah, that goes almost into the back of the aeroplane here. Minus the tiny little gaps, which it's a bit more of a gap actually. I'll make sure that gets reported. But yeah, if we go back into the aircraft, head to the back of it. Just be easy to do that actually. So this being the flex interior, you have toilets in the back of the aeroplane as opposed to being the rear rows of seats, so there's no window there. So you have 2 toilets in the back, again not modelled for just the fact it's easy to model it like that. And yeah, again the exit over here. A few more cabinets, a few more shelves. Things are like going to be like I do apologise a bit beyond that, but something I think something's going to be like heat boxes, like ovens, food cabinet storages, that kind of stuff to keep the aircraft supplied. A few more trolleys down below, and then yes, yeah, just your bin. Oh, and a little tap. I'm guessing that is for water. Yeah, if that's like a little drain there, then yeah, it'll be a tap. And of course, slightly angled window, so that when the flight attendant sits down, the angle, the window means that they can actually see outside, as opposed to having like no view of the external area. Same for these 2. You sit down here, you load down, the window gets angled, so you get a view of the outside. Those little touches that Airbus put into aircraft to make it more flight attendant oriented. But as you guys know, I'm a Boeing fan. Therefore, I must now automatically hate it, along with anything else this aircraft has, feature-wise. I mean, for example, like, here you go, if you want a nice seat in the A319, go for row... Okay, they're not numbered. But yeah, if you go for this row here, I mean, talk about legroom, like, come on, that's beautiful. So, yeah, I do apologise, I'm really tired right now, I don't know why. But, yeah, they will eventually, like, just adjust your seating, so that another row will fit here. And then things will just be a little bit more like realistic, a little bit more tidy. So we are soon to leave Denmark, and it shall be flying into Sweden in a couple of minutes. Supposedly 1 hour 6 minutes till arrival, Although, I'm going to be honest, I do have some doubts about that. I really don't know when I'm going to arrive just yet. It's not too terribly long, I guess. Yeah, it's nice sky starting to get a bit darker now. And the sun should be fairly low over the horizon now, yeah. Not too much left for it to go until it sets. And then things will start getting a bit darker. And we'll see what the night environment in Helsinki's like as well. Yeah, even the aircraft's starting to relax a bit. In fact, seatbelt's starting to probably come off a long time ago, actually. I've just realised I've got that still turned on, because it started being a bit rough earlier on. But, yeah, for the most part, if that's calmed down now, no real need to turn it on really for the rest of the flight. I mean, I say that, the turbulence starts picking up again, ever so slightly, but it's still not too bad. Still not too bad. Make sure everything else is still looking good. Otherwise, yeah, still pushing our way to Helsinki now. I am, however, going to adjust the cost index, as in reality, British Aiways use 15, not 10. So that way, we'll get a little bit quicker, we're going a little bit faster as well. Yeah, cost index 15 for British Aiways, not 10. Get there a little bit quicker as well then, actually, because we'll be now cruising at 241, as opposed to 239. How much earlier it will take us to get there? Only a couple of minutes, but it does count over the long distance. Yeah, apologies for that's not talking so much right now, but I think this is the part of the flight where things are a little bit quieter, things are now in cruise, things are just kind of calm and relaxed. So now is the good time just to kind of relax, wind down a bit, and then get ready for landing in a couple of minutes. Well, not a couple of minutes, about an hour or so. At some point though, I will need to go through the landing config. And while I'm here, because we're now at which points? Deckick. Okay, so how many flight? Yeah, a few waypoints left till actually we start descending. Another, what's 1959 top of descent. 1914. So actually, it's only about. I think I was at 59. Yeah, so 45 minutes till descent. Not actually too bad. So what I shall do now is select that. Ooh, actually, let me try and find which runway aircraft landing at. I don't know if it's in the Helsinki area, so I'll just quickly use everyone's favourite tool, flight radar, to check. There you go, quick update in the clouds there. And I need Helsinki. So if I now zoom in to southern Finland, get rid of that. There we go, Helsinki Vantaa. You are landing on runway 15. Ooh, okay, right, runway 15 seems to be landing. So I now shall set that in the sim. So that's arrival 15 on the divat. There we go. That looks good. No via available, that's fine. And insert. So that's all set, top of the set, that looks good, Insert. I'm pretty sure I set that to plan, just double checked it. But I don't think I'll have any issues really, because at the end of the day I'm basically setting up how it needs to be according to the charts. So we come in. Yeah, that's what's going on. So we come in, go to round. I like that, that's actually quite a nice way of doing it. So I get to see the, basically get to see the airport for myself on approach. Loop that round and come into land. I like that approach. Simple, easy, and can be a bit of fun as well. And then this is the not the runway of the hill at the end of it, so that I won't need to worry about. So 50 minutes till land, till sorry, 40 minutes till top of descent. I mean, we're actually not too far away, I guess. Still, again, still a fair bit to go, but we're not too bad. Not the worst in the world. Making progress. There we go. Time to arrival: 54 minutes, according to smart cars. And yeah, we're well over Sweden, about halfway through our Sweden leg. Clouds ever so slightly changing. Again, once I'm closer to Helsinki, hopefully I'll have like a connection to the airport, which will tell me like what the actual weather is over there. Hopefully not too bad. Wouldn't mind trying to get a bit of a manual approach in, but we'll see how that goes. Coming up to 2 hours in the stream. We're now on 1 hour 57 minutes right now. And then yeah, so a little bit left to go until landing. I wonder what happened to the other British Aiways actually, the one that was also landing at Helsinki. Let me double check in his position. Ooh, he's actually a couple hundred nautical miles that way at the moment. I'm cruising at 443 knots. He's cruising at 396. So he's going ever so slightly slower than me. But I think he's also ever so... Actually, yeah, no, I think I am ever so slightly ahead. Ever since I increased my cost index, or sped up a little bit, I've managed to speed up just a tiny bit as well. Get myself a bit closer. But yeah, he's getting closer now. Although I think I will be landing first. He's there. Actually, he's only at 25,000 feet. He's not full cruise. Not quite. Is it worth asking him? Yeah, let's see what he's talking about. might be worth seeing what he's doing. Bit of fun. I mean, yeah, like I said there, I'm guessing it's relocation. I mean, that's what it would kind of be in the real life, but still, only cruising at 25,000. It's not quite what most would be doing right now. We load up his profile on Vantaa. Ah, remarks still learning. Ah, I see. Remarks slash whoops. Chart still learning. Did you not set the altitude correctly? Yes, he's actually set his aircraft to 10,000 feet too low. Guess it's a little bit awkward on his part. Yeah, I'm looking at his stats right now. He is... Gosh, what is he doing? He's ever so slightly descending as well. You're also ever so slightly descending as well. Did you set your altimeter to STD? He's in slow descending the entire flight. Altitude 2... yeah, he's cruising at 26,000, not 35. I'm not still quite sure what he means by that. He's definitely not a virtual airline, I can tell you that for a fact. He's definitely flying solo. But, yeah, I'm not quite sure what he's at right now. But it's safe to say, hang on, that's a bug. I am steady 260. Can't be a bug. If you have a look at yourself on Vantaa, you're descending ever so slightly. I mean, I don't think I'm doing it as well. I might as well double check if that's just the fact I'm flying so close to the northern part of the hemisphere. That's how the how it works. But I guess it's quite nice to actually have a chat with someone over Unicom for once. Bit of a different kind of way to do it. Yeah, look at my altitude. It is fairly stable. Yeah, my altitude is very stable. In fact, the only thing that's changing is the airspeed ever so slightly. Even that's not too common. So if he's still learning on his remarks, how many flights has he actually done on that sim? And actually, what is his arrival time as well? Would be quite interesting to know. Double check that. So it will, whoops, help active runway at Helsinki is 15. Fly to runway 15 on what I will assume for you will also be the... which star was it? I selected again. Whoops. Ah, shoots. Right, which was it again set up at Helsinki? It was arrival Divam. Yeah, if you make an approach for runway 15 on the Diva 1 mic approach, you'll be that should get you in nicely without cutting across any traffic. With our current Actually, I'm going to ask him, do you know what time your ETA is at Helsinki? I mean, I want to know what time he's landing, so I can compare it to what time I'm landing. Make sure that we don't like cut across, because my one, yeah, his arrival is, let's go Zulu, 21:48. My arrival, Zulu, 21:48. Sheesh, he meant to land in about 5 minutes. Less than that even. No, sorry, I lie. 10 minutes he's meant to land. He's not doing it in 10 minutes, I can tell you that for a fact. Did he say something? I'm not quite sure. No, double check when my ETA is in Helsinki. 22:25. Apparently I'm meant to land already. 510 miles showing 2258 Zulu. My landing is 2024. Ah, right, because I'm not set to, I'm slightly different time, because again, he's in the real world, I'm slightly behind. Cool, so 2024. Let's get that sort of real world information. 2225. I'm landing 2225 Zulu. So I'll be a fair few minutes before you. Runway, however, shouldn't change. Just follow the approach I've given you and you should be fine. Smiley face. There goes. This is as close as we can get to a active tower on Vantaa at the moment. It's just live chat with the guy on the thing. His name is Rico. Rico. I'm not sure you're going to pronounce it. Almost definitely Rico. But yeah, he's in a 777. And I've just realised we've actually left. Have we left Sweden? No, not yet. But night environment signs come in to play. You can see some of the slight cities down below, the lighting. Sun's also now on the horizon, and therefore will be setting in a couple of minutes. Do you know the barometer for that? I believe it was 1014 WX Echo God, because I'm assuming he's using like default weather on FSX. EFHK, whoops. Yep, yes. Yes. QNH 1012 for Helsinki today. Although, as always, I will double check that again before I land to make sure that's going to stay the same. Make sure no like sudden changes. Otherwise, yeah, we are coming close to the end of Sweden. And at some point I will have to try and chase down this guy and send him a link to this stream. It will be quite interesting to see how he reacts from the other end. Yeah, if you have a channel, mate, say it now. You'll be super popular with the no viewers who's watching this right now. Actually, I better turn on the lighting for the overhead panel and whatnot for landing. So let's turn that on now. And same for this. Where are they? There they are. Let's just reset. There you go. And for the captain, co-pilot's one I won't need so much. But as long as everything's set there, set dim light on the console light as well. And that way, once the sun does fully set, we'll have a decent set of night lighting in the aircraft. which should be fine for us to land in. Yeah, top ascent's not too far away now. 20:02. Half an hour till top of descent. 30 minutes. Cool. I mean, I'm not quite sure where I'd be in the real world right now, but in terms of the sim worlds, yeah, 30 minutes from top descent. That'll probably be something similar in the world right now as well. Again, if you have flights radar 24, just search my call sign. I am on that aeroplane right now. Okay, so we are actually 320 nautical miles from landing. Quite well, actually. Yeah, 320 nautical miles to go. And you can still see where all the waypoints are, which will lead us down to descend. And then, yeah, the 777 guy. I have no idea where he's going, what he's doing, or if he'll even arrive on time. He's on his own at this time. I've given him his descent. I've given him like basically where he's going. It's all he needs from me right now. The rest he can figure out himself. So we are now to the north of Gotland. Gotland being down there somewhere in the clouds. And gosh, it's a very orange evening right now. You can see where the sky colours aren't exactly looking great, thanks to my low resolution textures in the simulator right now. I wouldn't mind getting a weather update in Helsinki soon. The main things I want to know right now are the visibility and the wind speed. If it's not too bad, then like I said, that bit I can just do manually. And once I know those two bits of information, I mean the sensor's been plugged in, our stars been plugged in, runway selected. In fact, if I quickly go down to the FMC, let's go down to next, activate approach phase. Actually not yet, so we won't do approach just yet. But I do need to set this up at some point. So go back to ToLiss. I'm not gonna lie, I've never actually set up, at least I don't think I've ever set up the approach page before. Magnitude of winds, temperature, Q and H. It's 1013, isn't it? 1012. So we'll put that in there. That would set. Temperature is where is it? Helsinki. We get information up again. Oh no, it is that. Temperature is Oz, 5,000 knots. Cavert 15.8. Yeah, I don't have all the information yet. No signal. So I can't set any of that just yet. Magnitude wind. Actually, that I can set. Man, I'm just going to spam chat my own self. 15/08. DH, I'm not actually sure what that means. Landing config 3. Yeah, we landing config 3. Temperature. Here you go, Helsinki airport temperature. It's going to be the same in the sim as it would be in real life. 13. And then finally, DH. Decision height, that will be... Man, why did I forget decision height so long? Yeah, decision height. 200 minimums. Config free landing. Otherwise, approach phase is now sorted. Yeah, I'm not sure why it took me so long to set up. It's basically simple. All the information I've already got. I think it's just because I'm just tired right now. That's the only thing. Fatigue. Everything else is fine. So that's all set up now. Sun, I believe, is now set. Yes, it has. And so we continue. Cool, so yeah, night lighting's now very much taking over the cockpit now. And shall do until we do land the pitch black landing in Helsinki, because our approach takes us basically into the wilderness as we come in from the north as opposed to the south. We do go through the city itself. Yeah, through the city of Helsinki, through Vantaa, the city, and just to the south of Narkela, through Juumo and Milikila before we land on runway 15. Man, well, it's so empty when the clouds are changing. There you go. Clouds when they're set are actually decent, but without it, man, the sim is bland. I can't wait for Active Sky to read some specs explain. That's now I'm definitely going to get. I mean, whether or not it's one I'm going to purchase or one I'm going to review, that will be determined later on by the like hrflights.com. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's one add-on I'm definitely going to have to get, no matter what. I'm getting the Active Sky for X-Plane. And then that should hopefully keep things going for a long time to come. Otherwise, also fairly decent to see that PMDG have also announced that they will now start like really looking into X-Plane as a platform for the future. But what kind of aircraft will they really bring into it? I mean, if they brought their 737 over, yes, it will sell a few, but for the most part, it probably will flop because the Zybo mod's generally quite good for them. Default 737, 747 will sell well. Their 747 will be great on the simulator. Their 777 depends. If they've like reworked from the ground up, then I've got a feeling that it may not do so well. If it was like a quick 1-2 day port over kind of thing, they should just try and get it onto the platform, then yeah, they'll get a bit of money from it, bit of profit, definitely a few people using it. I mean, a DC-6 was and is a very popular plane on X-Plane. Problem is, it's stuck on X-Plane 10 as DRM blocks you from using 11. So they will update that, finally, and I'm sure you'll see a few DC-6s in VATSIM for the future, once that also becomes the main like feature and main part of it. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what future PMDG have on X-Plane platform. Otherwise, sceneries, for the most part, I'm using as default. I mean, default Heathrow, the Meritos one. Default Helsinki, that'll just be the 3D airports ones put together in Scenery Maker, whatever it's called. WED, I think it's called, yes, WED. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, I got the Ortho for XP scenery in the UK with GB Pro Oxygen on top. But for Helsinki, that one is totally default. I do need to look into getting some sort of scenery put together for it. Though bear in mind we're flying at night, it's not going to be too much of an important factor for this flight. The return leg, however, I think I'm going to have to get something for it. But other than that, yeah, progress is good. On the clock, it's 1946. It's after approach on there. Go around, not going to need that. Ever. I was going to check, that's it, our send times, 2003. In 2024, we do approach and land. 24 is currently 46. About 40 minutes to landing. 40 minutes. If not a bit less than that, actually. Right, cloud cover over Helsinki. Actually, yeah, it's going to constantly change now every couple of minutes, but it looks like it's only got a bit of high altitude clouds, nothing too low to cause any concern later. Things seem quite good for me. Right, there's top of descent now, coming into view, 80 nautical miles away. Not too long to go now. Ooh, okay, that was a bit of a strong bit. When that, in fact, so see what's saying. I think now just turn it on for us to flight because that was a strong gust in that actually. Try to be safe with that. Yeah, there's definitely a bit of a wind pushing along the aircraft now. Yikes, something's pushing on the aircraft. I mean, have we entered Finland yet is actually a good question. The answer is no, not yet. Pavel is in a LOT aeroplane, CRJ 900s. Just over there somewhere. So I have to keep an eye out for him as well. Keep him on the traffic radar just in case. But yeah, there is another aircraft near me who I will need to be careful into. In fact, what's his airspeed right now? Actually, is he on VATSIM as well? Another good question. So if he's not on VATSIM, then he's not to worry about. I'll go back to Vantaa and zoom in on the Baltic Sea between Sweden and Finland. The answer is no, he is not on VATSIM, so yeah, he's not to actually worry about. Is there another airplane flying into Helsinki? Oh no, we have an airplane flying to JFK, but not Helsinki. That's fine then. Yeah, I think we're the only people flying into that airport. Who are you flying and where are you going to? We also have an OAL. I'm not sure what you're on. Oh, Olympic Airways. To somewhere up north in Lapland. And yeah, the 777 is now starting to fall behind me. Yeah, he's falling behind his low altitude 777. Not sure what he's doing flights. Can see a few things in the distance. I'm not quite sure what that is. That's just a bit of a scenery glitch. Which answer is yes, yes it is. A bit of a mesh not being put together properly over the water there. Not just like a coastal road or something. Even though we will be hitting those foams. In fact, let me show you desktop cam. I mean, this is what I see on the VAT map. That CRJ had he been on that sim, we would have almost definitely seen. Well, yeah, we definitely would have seen him because he'd be cutting across me right now, literally. Anyways, I'll be starting our descent shortly. Just double check what I'm descending to. 2,000 feet apparently. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong thing completely. What am I doing? No, I'm descending to 3,000, 2,000. Yeah, descending to 2,000. I'll set on the autopilot of them. Go to co-pilot seat for that. So we won't set it just yet, but once we are ready to descend, just got to push the button in and then we will descend. Just doing it nice and early for now. Seatbelt sign is active and will stay active for the rest of the flight, since there's no real need to take it off at the moment. And everything else seems pretty fine. We'll then go into landing config in a couple of minutes as well when we do start our actual descent. Yeah, I think so. I mentioned earlier how the sun would, while the sun's set, we still get some lights. This is about as dark as it's gonna get for the rest of this flight. I mean, over there we're looking at the northern hemisphere. The gosh, why do I keep saying northern hemisphere? I can't even say hemisphere correctly either. Over there is the basically, I wouldn't say other sides of the world, but the way I'm saying it is completely wrong. But you guys, I think you know what I mean. But where I'm saying it. Where the fact that where we are so far north now in the world, flying into Helsinki, into Finland, the fact that we now have the lights visible from the side as well, something that we need to look into. So the way we're landing, we will be facing the darkness, so that's the kind of lights we're expecting during landing. But for the most part, we do have the glow behind us on the horizon. Yeah, about 20 nautical miles of descending now. Here we go, 10 nautical miles till descent. And like I said, just a case of push the button in, and then we descend. Then I'll do one more weather check into Helsinki before I do land. Descending from flight level 350 down to 2000 in stages based on the, again, not the most, whoops, I forgot that, I keep doing this wrong. Right, let me just retype it once I know what I'm talking about. Descending from flight level 350, expecting 2000 as we approach Echo Foxtrot, Echo Foxtrot, Hilo, gosh, Hotel Kilo, runway 15 on the Diva 1 mic, approach. Cool, so we'll now start our descent. Thank you, co-pilots. And there you go, the flight crew talking to passengers now about the approach. Cool, so yeah, continuing our descent, or starting our descent even. And shouldn't take us too long until we now arrive, whoops, in Helsinki. And then hopefully, landing itself shouldn't be too bad today either. Probably not descending as much as I wish I could be. So I think I'm actually going to go a little bit more manual here. Bring it down to 25,000 feet per minute if possible. At least try and get the plane down low. Because if I quickly look at the flight plan. Let's go to the co-pilot side actually if it's set to landing. Yeah, we need to be down at 225. Yeah, quite a steeper bit descent that. Pexton at 225. Pexton's, wow, that's right up close. Looks like a bit of a late descent actually. Hopefully by Hotel Kilo, meant to be at 12,000. Yeah, this plane needs to drop like a bullet. In fact, let's take off autopilot and just idle throttle. I do not want any throttle this time in descent. I mean, I will turn it on eventually, but so long that the airplane can still start slowing down. That's what that matters to me at the moment. A little bit of turbulence as well, I must say the aircraft is shaking ever so slightly. Hopefully it won't be too much of an issue, but again I very much doubt there will be anything really. As long as the seatbelt sign is active, we can carry on descending. Set the spoilers just in case, stops the plane from speeding up as we descend. As long as you can make, again was it 12,000? Yeah, we're not going to make 12,000 for Pexton, but hopefully we do keep a fairly high descent rate. Try and get at least as close as possible to it. Otherwise everything else should be set for landing. Might as well set the altimeter on both sides to 1013. Yeah, that's not looking too bad right now. Once I do go down low enough and slow enough as well, I I can then start using flaps, which will also assist with the aircraft slowing down. And there you go, yeah, Helsinki just there you go, right there, you saw the city. While the clouds do quickly reload, so we will see the airport as we do come in on the loop, don't forget. But that won't be for a little bit longer left. Yeah, if we keep it on 40 nautical miles the distance. Yeah, a little bit turbulent, but nothing out of the ordinary, nothing too major just yet. If possible, can I also increase our descent rate ever so slightly? And try and find a good balance of high speed descent and not overspeeding at the same time. I mean, once we reach 10,000, we definitely have to level off and just let the aircraft slow down its own momentum for a bit. 20. Yeah, about to reach the Pexon point. Albeit about 10,000 feet, 10,000 feet too high compared to what the FMS wants. In fact, how do you hold in this thing? That's a good idea, actually. So if I set Pexon as a holding point, that's fine. Inbound course is where is it? 59. Yeah, 059. And there we go, temporary flight plan, input temporary. And then that should give me a chance to descend. Also means I can actually go back onto that and set the throttle. And there we go. Right, so we're going to hold at this waypoint for a little bit, just get ourselves to a suitable altitude. I mean, the aircraft will continue to descend, and then I'd say maybe one, maybe two loops this holding pattern. We'll then be at a decent altitude to come in and continue our approach into Helsinki. So you turn off the speed brakes as well. Yeah, I'm not descending nearly as much as I want it to again still. So they're back to 2,000 feet per minute. Exit at flight level 197. Yeah, 197 will then come out. Hang on, no. So that's current. I need to be out at 113. And yeah, it does look like the airspeed's holding up as well quite nicely. So I'll let the aircraft continue its own little pattern for a moment. Make sure everything is still set. Make sure overhead panel's also set. Now we'll soon go through a landing config as well. So yeah, I'm just trying to think. I mean, I turned off auto throttle for a second just to idle throttle. I don't think there really was a need to do that. It was just a case of, yeah, let the airplanes carry on auto throttle. It probably is smart enough to idle the throttle. I'm not going to complain or anything. As long as the aircraft's still in the air. I mean, we're now down to 241 knots airspeed, so I'm not going to overspeed or anything anymore. And then once we are at a suitable altitude, it can just be as simple as coming into land, no problem. And then landing should be fairly simple. I mean, wind speeds was fairly low. Coming from the sides, although I assume at the actual airport itself, things will be a little bit calmer. But I don't think I'll have any issues with landing. That should be fairly simple. And then it'll be down to Terminal 2 once I land at Helsinki. Terminal 2. So we're at 15,000 now, meaning I can probably leave the holding pattern actually. Just the one loop was enough for us to get down to a suitable altitude. If I set that again. And so long the aircraft continues to descend, we'll be fine. So if I exit, how do you exit? Probably one thing I should look into, how to exit a holding pattern when you need to. I believe it should be a case of just delete it, won't it? So if I select clear, hold, clear, discontinuity, insert, and 217, yep, that's fine. So we'll now continue our descent into the airport. And that I can zoom out one more as well. Perfect. Still a little high, but again, work our way around that. Cool, so continuing of descent now. Once we hit 10,000, I'll then turn on the landing lights. And then as we get closer to the runway, I'll start up landing config, so flap sets, make sure my checklist is all complete as well, so auto brakes set, spoilers set, and then we'll come in for landing. In fact, the airport, I'll be surprised if I actually see it from here. Whoops, ooh, that was a bit of a strong gust of wind there. But yeah, runway's not quite visible just yet. And you, I believe, can go back into the approach setup here. There goes, yeah, config 3 is still set. Everything else looks fine for me. And yeah, still a 139 approach into landing. Oh yes, and actually I might as well remember as well at some points that when it does come to landing with flaps free, I now need to inhibit the GPWS. I mean, I'll turn on glide slope and terrain. I will also consider as well when I do come into the land. Oops, nope, I want to quickly scurry across. Flight's level 7-1 by HK81. Yeah, that's cool. I'm happy with the sense. And there you go. So you have the very beautiful sunset. Now the sense. Man, I can't wait to see this in my own, like, with my own eyes kind of thing. Like, it's going to be beautiful. The flying to Helsinki, the landing as well. It's going to be phenomenal. So to actually be able to see this with my own eyes kind of thing, it's amazing. It really is. Cool, so we'll be passing 10,000 in the moment. I'm not quite sure why the throttle kicked up though. But I will set the landing lights now. Ooh, a bit of a lag spike there as well, I'm not quite sure why. Am I doing something wrong for... GPWS flat 3 set, yeah, that's fine. Why won't you continue below 10,000? I'm guessing something's up with my config. There we go, right, so landing light is now set. Which means the aircraft is now happy to proceed down below 10,000. Right, airport is to my left. Of course the clouds are spawning just when I'm trying to look for it. But somewhere in that gap should be Helsinki Vantaa Airport. Where exactly I'm not quite sure. I'll keep an eye out for it. Yeah, there's the water. Sorry over water right now. There's the coastline. The actual airport itself actually isn't visible to me, so we'll carry on as it is. Zoom in on that one more time. And there goes, yeah, zoom level 10 nautical miles on the PFD. Unfortunately, I can't go all the way down to 5 like on the 737, but I guess that's one thing that you do miss out on this aeroplane. Right, somewhere through those clouds is the airport. Although we're about to actually hit the clouds ourselves. Which means for a moment visibility will shoot down. Although once we blow a cloud layer, we'll then be able to see again normally. So you can see Helsinki Airport below us now. runway 15 being the runway going from left to right. So not the most used runway at the airport, but it does see some routes, especially during crosswind weather and like quiet time as well. And you got Helsinki's second airport as well. Don't remember the name of that one, but again, gets some use. So making our first left turn and into the final part of the the star, sorry. And then we'll be landing in a couple of minutes. Not too long now. Not too long at all. In a moment as well, I will be going through the flaps config and all that. Also seeing that we're going a little bit too fast at the moment, so we'll slow the aircraft down. While we do that, yeah, it should be set to 220 on the FMS there. So yeah, bring the aircraft down, and then once we're slow enough as well, we'll start lowering the flaps ready for landing. Otherwise, the weather has cleared up ever so slightly. And therefore should be a nice little landing into the airport. So I will set the localizer in a moment once you start lining up the runway, avoiding approach, and then landing I'll do manually, although the auto throttle I will keep set for until we do land. So I'm getting the aircraft down to about 230 knots. There we go. The throttle has come down, which means I can now get rid of the speed brakes. Make sure that the aircraft's out for landing, so that is set. Make sure aircraft is secure. Medium braking at Helsinki. And flaps down to 1 in a moment. We'll get to the waypoint, Sutax. Man, definitely a bit of an orange glow on the horizon there, I have to say. Very nice. Should give us quite a nice looking landing for today. Cool, so we're at the Sutax point now, so flaps down to 1. There we go, making left turn now. I've got one last look out the passenger window as well while we turn. So there you go, passengers left hand side can't see Helsinki Airport, Vantaa. As well as a nice bit of night lighting there going on with the road and all that. And then on the right hand side, got one last look at the sky. The sun's now setting, or sun already set a long time ago, but again, this far north. Yep, getting some visuals. There you go, the aircraft will now continue to slow down while we do head out on the start. So in a moment I will set it to flaps 2, and then once we've done the next turn as well, I shall, yeah, not going to do that. So a little too fast flaps 2, so I'll let the aircraft go down a little bit more. There it goes, now reacting to it, so coming below 200 knots. 190 it wants to be on before I set to flaps 2. Cool, so flaps. I won't touch them just yet. There you go, flaps 2 is fine. And likewise, I will now lower the landing gear. Gear down. And then once we are aligned the runway, flaps down to landing.
2,500.
Cool, the aircraft will level off. Now sets that to localizer. Flaps down 3. There you go, again, one last quick glance to the outside, so you can see the motorway down below, a few roads and whatnot. At the end of the day, X-Plane's night scenery is phenomenal, and this is default multi-add. It's the one thing you can't really beat with this simulator, and that is night lighting. And yeah, quite a quick glance at the passengers again, so city in the distance, otherwise fairly dark. And then these guys basically have no view at all, because Helsinki and Vantaa is to the northwest of the town. So yeah, left hand side you see a bit more compared to the right hand side of this approach. Cool, so I'm now going to set the aircraft to approach. And then that should now guide the aircraft down to land. And then, as always, turn off autopilot and then manually guide the aircraft in onto the ground. Otherwise, yeah, shouldn't be too bad a landing today. That's what I'm hoping. Yeah, it's fine. In a moment, I almost definitely... Yeah, in a moment I will turn off the autopilot. Otherwise, everything else should be set for landing. So if I now deactivate that, and guide the aircraft in, auto throttle will stay on, and basically that will stay on until we idle throttle once the aircraft tells us to. Otherwise, I'm not expecting too much of an issue tonight. And flying at night, of course, on X-Plane, you guys basically get to see the full effect of the X-Plane night scenery, which does look great. I mean, again, this is default. X-Plane's night scenery has always been great. Right, 2000. Whoops. Spoilers armed. Flaps 4 should be set to flaps landing 3. There we go. Alright, landing set. There we go. Now the Pappies, 2 reds, 2 whites. Let's now guide the aircraft in. And of course, being an A319, I must remember the flare logic as well. So I must remember to pull the nose up, and not catch it per se. So basically, whenever I've been taught flare law, I've been trying to catch it. Turns out when they say catch it, it doesn't mean catch it. You need to, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, let's now focus on the landing. We are committed. A little low, but that's fine.
Terrain. 100. Terrain. Terrain. 50. 40. 30. Retard. 10.
305. Not great, but that's acceptable for me. First thrust cut. And then we'll be able to leave the runway at this turn-off point here. Again, not the best landing in the world, but the A319 is still not my go-to aircraft. I'm not expecting everything to be shining just yet. Cool, so flaps up, landing lights off, taxi lights on, and taxiing to Terminal 2 at Helsinki. So again, not 100% sure where that is, but let's use the actual map just to kind of like cheat my way around it. So Terminal 1's the main long one here. Terminal 2. What's the easy number? Here we go. Say 203. Alright, Terminal 2 is down at the far end. If we took off runway 5, make a left turn, and then basically head down to the end of that. Apparently. We'll just head over to here then. Cool, so increase throttle. Just turn off the master caution. And yeah, brakes hot, delay take off for cooling, that is fine. Brake fan is on. So we'll taxi down to gates. And then we'll be able to end this video here. Landing time, 20:45 Zulu, so that's about 11:45 local time, which I believe is, I think a little bit later than I'm actually landing in the real world. We'll say that, but for the most part, yeah, I've got no real issue with that. I mean, we landed on time, at least based on the sim we've landed on time. And from now, we just taxi to gates, park up. And the start of my Finnish holiday basically begins now. So yeah, we'll go to this first taxiway here, this first parking area. Bring it to the end. Oops, probably should have started up, whoops. Just focus on landing. Parking even. A little bit wonky, but there you go, if we just make a light adjustment. And there, that'll do me. So, parking brake set. I want to start up APU, but that's a bit late now. Engines shut off. And ground power will connect once the thing is set for it. Where are you, ground power? You're in that. Ground services even, external power set. And you come available. And yeah, that is us in Helsinki. Beacons come off, strobes come off, taxi lights are off. Yeah, slightly wonky, but no one's going to complain. So, right, we'll have a look at the quick landing replay just a moment. Let the VATSIM thing just quickly tick over. But for the most part, the flight was alright. I mean, landing was a little bit wonky, not going to lie, but for the rest of it, I mean, the A320, A319 is not my go-to aircraft. Never is, probably never will be. But for a first, like, kind of full-length video stream flight thing, I can't complain, really. I mean, we got down, we made it. So, yeah, let's head over to replay mode. And let's go bring it to the landing. A bit of a weird...
Terrain.
There we go. And of course the cargo doors have opened. I will turn those off now. Ground services, just close all doors quickly. Yeah, with the ToLiss, doors are automatic by default. So we close them, ready for landing. See if I can turn that screen off. Hang on. Oh, that is a bug then, if I can't actually close the ToLiss screen. Hang on, toggle replay mode, turn that off. And there you go, screen's now turned off again. It's a bit weird. And there we go. So, for the most part, fairly stable. Fairly stable. And then touchdown was just a little bit heavy. Probably because I floated the aircraft a little bit. And that's probably the obvious answer. And there we go. A little bit of a... Yeah, it's just a heavy descent rate, I think, actually, at the end of the day. I'll have a quick look at the landing from the interior view. Yeah, I think it was just a bit of a heavier descent rate on that one, which led to the heavy impact. I mean, 300 feet per minute, it's not the worst in the world. I mean, I've definitely done a lot worse, even on this live stream as well. But, yeah, 50-50 that landing. Really wasn't my best ever. And then yeah, after that it's just a case of slowing the airplane down and coming to a halt. Now the simulator's frozen for a second there. There we go. I'll head back to gate. And yeah, I think we can now end the video here. So, my holiday in Finland has begun. I am now basically leaving the aircraft, going through security. And then at some point we'll be heading to the main light city centre, and then in about 7 hours I've got a train to catch. But for you guys at home, you just had yourself an extra live stream / video thing, because once again, must point out, this is all pre-recorded, very much is. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, do subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.